Did you know that during major crypto bull runs, some coins have shot up over 1,000% in a single week, turning small investments into life-changing money almost overnight? And yet, studies show that a huge percentage of retail traders who jump in during these spikes actually lose money within days. That's right, the rocket takes off, but most passengers board right before the engine explodes. Hey, I'm Terrence, and I have a friend named Mark Somo who is my best friend, and I've had a front row seat to his legendary trading adventures. I'm also the guy who gets those late-night calls that start with, "Bro, I messed up." This is episode 1 of a 12-part saga, and today's disaster is powered by one thing: FOMO. We'll explore what FOMO really is and why it hijacks your brain. The moment Mark spotted the green candle of destiny on ElonMarsDoge. Buying at the peak feels incredible for about 3 seconds. We'll also see how dreams of becoming a billionaire by Tuesday can cloud judgment. Finally, practical lessons from Mark's meltdown and how to avoid repeating it. Let's meet the villain, FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMO is that feeling you get when everyone seems to be winning except you. It's like being in school and suddenly the entire class runs outside yelling, "Free pizza!" You don't ask questions, you run. That's exactly what happened to Mark. Firstly, he wasn't even trading. Next, he opened his phone just to check. Then he saw it. A massive glowing green candle on a coin called ElonMarsDoge. If you're new, imagine a rocket on a screen shooting upward. That's what a green candle looks like when price is rising fast. Mark froze. Then his eyes widened. "Terrence," he texted, "this is it!" And I already knew where this was going. Because FOMO doesn't whisper, it screams, "You're late! Everyone else is winning! This is your chance!" It creates urgency, and urgency replaces logic. Trading with urgency is like sprinting across a busy road with your eyes closed. You might get lucky, but odds are you won't. And Mark, he didn't slow down, he sped up. I was eating lunch when Mark called. Not texted, called. That's always a red flag. "Terrence," he said, out of breath, "ElonMarsDoge is up 400% in 1 hour." Now, pause. That's not a normal opportunity. That's chaos. But to Mark, it was destiny. Next, he started calculating. If I put in $5,000 and it does another 400%, then maybe another tomorrow. Then he said it. I could be a billionaire by Tuesday. It was Thursday. Now, imagine stacking blocks. If you skip the base and stack everything at the top, what happens? It collapses. But Mark wasn't thinking about collapse. He was thinking about Lamborghinis. FOMO creates fantasy math. Firstly, it exaggerates profits. Next, it ignores risk. Finally, it convinces you that you're different from everyone else. Mark wasn't investing. He was chasing a dream. And the chart, it was about to wake him up. Here's the moment everything went wrong. The chart was vertical. Social media was exploding. Everyone was shouting, "To the moon!" Mark's hands were shaking. Firstly, he hesitated. Next, the price jumped higher. Then panic kicked in. "I'm missing it!" That's the trap. FOMO doesn't let you think. It pushes you to act. So Mark bought. Not slowly, not strategically. He slammed the buy button. Exactly. At the peak. Now, think of a trampoline. Someone jumps higher and higher, but eventually they come down. Markets do the same. The moment Mark bought, the chart froze. Then it flickered. Then it turned red. Not soft red, full emergency red. The price didn't dip. It collapsed, like a cartoon character running off a cliff before realizing there's no ground. Mark stared at his screen. "This is just a pullback," he said. Ah, yes. Firstly, denial, next, rationalization, then panic. Within seconds, his billionaire dream turned into, maybe I'll just break even. But the market had other ideas. The price kept falling. At first, slowly, then faster. Imagine holding an ice cream cone in the sun. At first, it melts gently, then suddenly it's dripping everywhere. That was Mark's account. Firstly, minus 5%. Next, minus 12%. Then, minus 25%. "Terrence," he texted, "should I sell?" Here's the trap. FOMO doesn't just affect entry, it traps you inside. Because your brain starts saying, "It'll bounce, it can't drop more, it was just pumping." But markets don't care about your expectations. They care about supply and demand. When early buyers take profit, late buyers, like Mark, are left holding the bag. That rocket, it became a red waterfall. And waterfalls don't reverse because you hope they will. Mark refreshed his screen constantly, hope shrinking, reality growing. And this is where the real damage begins. The next day, Mark looked exhausted. Because he was. Firstly, he replayed the trade in his head. Next, he imagined what-if scenarios. Finally, he blamed everything, except the real cause. Because here's the truth. FOMO is self-inflicted. It's like jumping into a pool because everyone else did, without checking if there's water. Mark had no plan, no entry strategy, no risk management, no clear thinking. He just reacted. And reacting is not trading. Let's simplify. Planned trading equals following a recipe. FOMO trading equals throwing random ingredients together. One gives you a meal, the other gives you regret. Mark eventually sold at a loss, not because it recovered, but because he couldn't take the stress anymore. And that moment, that's where learning begins. Here's the twist. That ElonMarsDoge pump, it never came back. Ever. If Mark had simply waited, he would have saved money and stress. FOMO thrives on urgency, but good trading thrives on patience. Firstly, wait for confirmation. Next, define your risk. Then, accept that missing one trade is okay, because markets always create new opportunities. But FOMO lies. It tells you this is the only chance. It's not. And Mark learned the hard way. You don't go broke missing trades. You go broke chasing them. And trust me, this was just the beginning. Because in the next episode, Mark decides charts are too confusing, so he goes to the zoo to study a bull and a bear to understand the market. Yeah, that goes about as well as you'd expect. See you in episode 2.